It's Sunday, October 11th, 2020, coming to you from Palm Desert, California, the JW Marriott. It is paradise here. The geese are everywhere, the fish are swimming, the flamingos. A lot more people out this weekend, which is great to see. There's a little bit of life coming back to the desert, and it's a good sign. Really quick, before we start the video today, make sure that you come over to my Patreon channel, uploading a brand new video this evening. Make sure that you come over and check it out. It really helps to support the channel, helps to support and get out the message, so check it out. But back by popular demand, it's Dr. Anthony. And we want to talk about a few things today. And a lot of people talking about this election, who's going to win, who's going to lose. But there is one thing for sure, no matter who wins, who loses, the printing presses are not going to stop. The money printing is going to go absolutely ballistic.
The stock market is not going to stabilize. Gold and silver prices are not going to go in just one direction. Cryptocurrency, everything is up in the air.
We keep talking about diversification. As most people know, I'm in cash, mining stocks, physical gold, physical silver. That's where I'm at right now. You're doing the same thing, but you've got cryptos too. And your point about cryptos, and look, I'm not here to judge cryptos. I'm not against cryptos. You like cryptos because
it's another form of diversification away from that debt note fiat currency known as the dollar.
Now, one thing I think can all agree on is everyone is looking for options other than the US dollar. I believe that the US dollar is on borrowed time. That doesn't mean it's going to implode next week or tomorrow or next month, but it could. But what happens a year from now, what happens 2-3 years from now, nobody knows. But what we do know now is that people and countries are looking to other options. And when I read an article like this, 59 million Americans expect income losses ahead of this election. The Census Bureau's latest household pulse survey speaks volumes about what is happening. And when I read this survey here, conducted from September 16th to September 28th, it shows that 59 million Americans expect someone in their household to have a loss in employment or take a pay cut ahead of this election. That's a lot of people. And yesterday, or the day before, Friday, we got word that there is no stimulus coming as of yet. So I believe that you better be really serious about your preparations, that you better financially better be getting set.
And the clock is ticking. So, now is the time, while gold is on sale, while silver is on sale, while the cryptocurrencies are still being suppressed, now is the time.
Yeah, all this, the cryptos, gold, silver, mining stocks, everything is suppressed right now. Things are on sale. Now, if you're looking at the tech stocks and you're looking at these overvaluations on the stock market, this is the biggest bubble we have ever seen in human history. You want to look at real estate, commercial, you want to look at residential real estate, these are massive bubbles. This is the time. People say this is all doom and gloom, that I'm saying the world's going to end tomorrow. My world's not going to end because I'm preparing for it. I plan to prosper in the worst possible times. I plan to make money. I plan to succeed, prosper, and take advantage of this opportunity that's coming. See, people call it doom and gloom. The people on the other side of the wealth transfer are laughing all the way to the bank. They're calling this opportunity. And if you start thinking like your own central bank, if you are preparing for this wealth transfer, you're going to prosper too. It's not doom and gloom. I'm not paranoid. I'm not scared. I'm going to be fine. I really believe that. So I worry about the people who are not preparing, who have zero money saved up, who believe that this is a fairy tale, that this isn't going to happen when it's happening every day right before your very eyes.
People are thinking that as far as they can tell, everything's about the same as it's always been. But there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that we're not seeing.
Well, let's talk about Thursday. We got the job numbers for last week. 840,000 people filed first-time jobless claims. We are in a depression, America.
And those are just the official numbers. There's how many countless people doing the side jobs, doing the little things to help each other that they can't do anymore.
You're a business owner. What happens to capital? What happens to credit? for somebody that wants to start a business now, when banks see what's happening, they're tightening up, people's credit's being destroyed right now. What's going to happen to these credit markets?
Well, and that's why you want to have your small footprint, because only the major mega companies are the ones that are able to write off everything as a tax loss.
And get the bailouts.
Yeah, and then get the bailout, get the PPP.
All right, so what about Disney laying off 28,000, American Airlines and United looking to lay off 31,000, the 840,000 jobless claims that we got on Thursday. Half the private sector jobs may not be coming back after this dust settles.
So your small business needs to be able to pivot to make sure that you have a story, that you have the rapport with your customers, that you're able to answer their question and solve their problem in the most efficient and simplest way. That's what you have to do as a small business.
Do you, as a small business, want to be carrying debt right now?
And be debt-free, because your debt gives away your freedom, your liberty. If you have gone into debt slavery, then you're not going to be able to pivot.
What about the average American who goes, maybe this is a good time to go buy a new car, finance a car for 6-7 years. Maybe this is a good time to go out and buy a $3,000 big screen. Maybe this is the time to take a vacation. What do you say?
You know, it might be the right time to lease. I've been thinking about this because if inflation is coming and you could lock in at a low rate with a low price, if you're not looking to really buy, then to lease, to rent your car as part of your business expense might actually be good. But other than that, no.
Mm-hmm. You know, many people call a lease a fleece. And I'm under the mindset, if you can't pay cash or you cannot pay a big down payment on that vehicle, first off, why buy a new car, period? The average new car is over $35,000. The average income is $34,000 in America. Think about that. For the average person buying a new car, they're spending an entire year income on a vehicle. And by the time they pay it off, it's not even worth anything. So my opinion is save up a few $1,000s, pay cash, or put something down and have a very minimal payment for maybe 2 or 3 years.
Yes.
I mean, just being on the hook for payments for 6, 7, 8 years, I don't want to do that.
What I'm doing is putting away a monthly payment worth of silver a month, so that when it's time to cash it out, we can buy it.
So of all the people I know, you're not buying any big ticket items. You're not out buying new cars, new big screens. You're putting it in precious metals. You're putting it in cryptos. You're putting it in mining stocks. You've got cash put away. So I'm doing exactly what you're doing. And I think most people, 98% of the people watching this show tonight are doing the same thing. If you're not, I think, look, we're not giving anybody financial advice. We're just sharing with you what we're doing. The doctor and I are very, very similar in our mindset and how to prepare for what this catastrophe that's coming. Amusement parks, airlines, hotels, restaurants. Right now, as we're here at the JW Marriott, it's refreshing to see more people, but they're only at 12.5% capacity. That's all the rooms that are allowed to lease out. The Starbucks is closed. Most of the restaurants are closed. Restaurants are only operating at 25% capacity. So even though it's open, it's really not open.
It's just looking good on the surface, but below there's problems.
Yeah. So it's like an iceberg. You see the tip, but you don't see the rest of the iceberg. 80% of the iceberg you don't see, and so we don't see the massive amount of people here at the JW Marriott that are not returning back to work. You don't see that. We see a couple hundred people at the pool. They're only allowed to have 300 people here, not 1,000. So we're not seeing all the bartenders, all the security personnel, the waiters, waitresses, the hostesses, the people working at the restaurants, the cooks, etc. Even the golf course out here is not even that busy. I mean, it is stunning today. What are we, about 95 degrees? Stunning day. There should be 10 times as many people here. But it's good to see some people back. But there's an underlying problem here at these resorts. We're in a resort community, and what do you expect to happen now? We're hearing, at least I've heard from 3-4 different people now, we may see a second shutdown.
If there's another shutdown, first of all, there's going to be more people resisting. There's going to be, like, I kind of make fun of the nail ladies down the way from my office. I say they're the speakeasy. It's like an underground, during the alcohol prohibition nightclub, except for doing nails.
Right. It's going to have a negative effect no matter what, especially for a place like this. A big corporate establishment that employs thousands of people like this place. This place is probably on, 1,000 acres.
They won't be able to get away with that.
They won't get away with it. And some of these cities now sending people in to count how many people in the restaurants. It's just amazing. They're enforcing all this. Some people will try to get away with it until they can't. Gyms, for instance, won't get away with it. Hair salons won't. All it takes is one person to call and everything is shut down. So it's going to be interesting. If this happens to the state of California, we get a second shutdown in the state of California, we've got some big trouble. You care to comment on that?
All that's happening is the wealth transfer is happening from the middle class to the most wealthy, to the richest. It's going uphill to the 1%, and everyone else will be choked out. That's what happens.
So if we do get another shutdown, it doesn't even matter if we get a shutdown, because as far as I'm concerned, we're still shut down. We cannot operate at 25 or 50%. But if they take us to zero, that's the nail in the coffin for every small mom and pop retailer, pizza place, sandwich place, restaurant, medium business. It is going to devastate Southern California here for sure, and this entire state. But you can bet that Costco will be open. All the fast food, McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Taco Bell, they'll all be open, busier than ever. All the big corporations will continue to get the bailouts, but the small guy will be decimated. There was a really interesting article that I want to share with everybody. This was on Wolf Street. Astounding distortions and historic price spikes in used vehicle wholesale market begins to unravel. So over the summer, we saw used car sales and prices skyrocket. But guess what has happened? Now that the $600 bonuses have come to an end, now that the stimulus has come to an end, prices and sales are beginning to plummet. So what do you think about that? What does that tell us?
You know, as the prices are going down, it's the supply and demand that's really driving that. So the supply will eventually dry up, and then the price will go back up.
But people don't have the $600 a week bonus that they had to go out and spend. They don't have the $1,200 stimulus check. And so isn't it kind of amazing now at the end of the summer, September, all now sales are dropping because people aren't getting unemployment with a $600 bonus. So on top of that, unemployment is running out for many people. So whether you're seeing this distortion now in the used car market, it is going to have a huge effect in many markets, and it's going to have a huge effect on Christmas sales. Now, we're being told Christmas is going to be record-breaking, right? There's a huge contradiction here when stimulus checks have stopped, when $600 bonuses have stopped, and now unemployment is stopping for so many people. I don't see how we're going to have such a big Christmas. And people go, oh, who cares about Christmas? Well, Christmas is a huge pump for the economy. We add on millions of jobs. People go to UPS, FedEx, they work at stores part-time, Lyft, Uber, all the extra hires that go on. People make extra money, and people are spending money. What do you see for Christmas?
Well, if they give us a shutdown, plus all of the things you've already been talking about, it's a disaster.
A disaster. I believe even if we don't get a shutdown, it's a disaster, because right now, as it looks, if you get a $1,200 stimulus check, what is that going to do for you? Is that really going to save your Christmas when you're so far behind in your car payments, your credit card, your rent, your mortgages? I mean, I'm talking to multiple business owners out here who haven't paid rent in 3, 4, or 5 months.
There's nothing to say. There's nothing. What are you going to do? We have to see what's going to be the next thing that comes down from the sky, and that's how they want us. They want to put us in the position of, oh, please, government,
save us.
Save us.
Yeah. And so what you're saying is people are becoming debt slaves. Now 100% reliant on the government to bail them out. Corporate America reliant on the government, the stock market reliant on the government. Everything is reliant now on the government, and this is very, very scary, because as we know, the government cannot run anything. All it can do is run things into the ground. And if you're relying on the government for your health care, if you're relying on the government to take care of you and send you money, you're gonna have a very bad life ahead of you.
And that's why it goes back to the self-reliance and the being able to find a way to make it work anyway, to promote the values of freedom and liberty, and being able to do something for yourself and control yourself.
Wall Street Journal yesterday, McDonald's, Chipotle, Domino's are booming during this crisis, while neighborhood restaurants struggle. We just touched on this a second ago. If we do get a second shutdown, Domino's isn't closing, Taco Bell's not closing, McDonald's isn't closing, they will surge, while the average local restaurant out here is going to be destroyed.
Yep, and there's nothing we can do about it.
The hedge today, the Logistics Manager Index, a survey of leading logistic executives, showed capacity fell to new lows, dipping 770 basis points during the month of September to a 23.8% reading. A reading below 50% indicates contraction. It dipped to 23.8%. I think what it means is people aren't buying as much.
Even if you have money, you're not buying as much.
Exactly. People are pulling back, and we've seen that in the wealthy areas more than the more middle class, poorer areas. The wealthy areas are the ones where we're really seeing it. But when you see trucking not moving, where capacity falls to a new time low, dipping 770 basis points, this means the store shelves, the inventory is not as deep as normal, and we're seeing that at grocery stores. Many store owners are saying that they're just not stocking shelves like they once were. When we go to the mall, we walk around, there's just not as many clothes on the racks. There's just not as much inventory sitting around.
And that's how they slowly creep the prices up, because now there's not the cheap material anymore. Now it's the more expensive stuff.
So we're going to have more money chasing less goods, less services, and what does that equal?
Inflation.
Inflation. Crane counts in North American cities dropped for the first time since 2017. We had 455 cranes in the first quarter, 415 in the third quarter. Lenders are less likely to provide support to large products and these large construction projects. And so another tale of what's happening here. Chicago, Denver, Las Vegas, New York, San Francisco experienced a large decrease, dropping between 27 and 76% in cranes. That tells us something right there, that big construction projects are slowing down. We're going to see lenders not wanting to lend these multi-hundreds of millions of dollars on these huge projects. I want to share one last article with everybody, and since we're here at the JW Marriott, this beautiful property, so many beautiful large resorts out here in the desert, and it really makes you wonder what's going to happen to so many of these large resorts and private hotels out here. The Marriott Buffalo Niagara Hotel, it received a $10.5 million bid at auction. This was 82% lower than the value of the hotel in 2011. I believe this, it's New York. And I thought that was really fascinating. We're seeing such a plunge now in commercial real estate, and we are going to see a bubble burst in commercial real estate. These loans, these commercial real estate loans that are delinquent, this is going to send, I believe, these markets into a whirlwind as soon as these bubbles begin to pop. We're soon going to find out what things really are worth, such as commercial real estate, residential real estate, stocks, bonds, and gold and silver. And again, as I look at this beautiful property and I see that it's at about 20% capacity or less, nobody on the golf course on this beautiful late afternoon, and many of the resorts around here are just quiet, and it's really, really sad to see. But what happens when this commercial real estate bomb gets detonated? And when you have 40, 50 million people out of work, people getting wage cuts, the outlook not looking good, what is going to happen to residential real estate, which I think we're sitting on a massive bubble. Look, we're sitting on so many bubbles: bond bubble, stock market bubble, housing bubble, commercial real estate bubble, you name it, it's a bubble.
So many things are basically riding this wave, and it's going to end in a big wipeout.
Big wipeout. This bubble, when it goes, it's not going to just be one, it's going to be multiple bubbles. And yet there are people that are going to be surprised by this. I can't believe, like, how many, like right now, there are so many people pulling equity lines out of their house, right? And they're taking that money, and that's what they're living on. Like, people are pulling seconds out of their house, cash money, and living on it. What happens when this real estate market readjusts what's going to happen to these people who their whole life savings is in a house, and they don't think that the price of their house can ever go down, especially now when you watch the television and every day they're just telling you prices are going up, not enough houses on the market, interest rates super low. And let's not forget that these ultra low, historic low interest rates are helping to support all this optimism in the housing market. But what happens when this bubble bursts?
You're going to lose it all, and that's the wealth transfer that we're talking about. The wealth transfer is from the middle class to the 1%. It's at least from the middle class to the 5%, which hopefully anybody watching this is at least a 5%er. Like, it's going to move, and if you're prepping, if you're ready, if you're already getting your net worth out of that real estate and moving it into something more secure.
You said something earlier too. If you have all this money in the market, you need to be taking some of the profits
out.
out.
You need to be taking profits.
And getting into some assets and having
hard assets.
Hard assets. Gold and silver, the two most undervalued assets on planet Earth. And look, I don't know what's going to happen to them tomorrow. We had a fantastic week, especially Friday. And look, there could be a pullback tomorrow, but this evening they continue to go up. We will continue to see volatility. And look, when everything comes down, you can bet that you're going to see gold and silver come down too. But the question is, do you have it? And when everybody's running to it, will you be able to get it?
No, it's going to be so expensive. They're going to call it unobtainium instead of...
Absolutely. So whether the price is doing this or coming down, I take a little bit out of my paycheck every month, and I keep buying a little bit more, whether it's up, whether it's down, or in between. I keep putting it away. And if it gets hit one day and it goes way down, I'm going to buy more, because I know at the end game, gold and silver are going to be the two most unattainable assets on planet Earth with the most value. So what do you want to close with on this beautiful, it's beautiful evening here in Palm Desert, California, the nicest resort out here in the desert. If you get a chance, come down here and help support it. Good people, beautiful property. But what do you want to close with? What can you tell everybody?
You need to remember that your most valuable asset is, of course, outside of the spiritual realm and your relationships, it's your body. Your body is your platform that you're running through everything else. So do something to get into better alignment with that future self that you actually want to be.
And I think that's incredibly an incredible point, because as we start seeing some of the darkest times in America, and it's hard to believe, I know, because as you drive down the road, people are driving around, people are out and about, and people just act oblivious to any real serious problems. And when you're out here, everybody's having a cocktail, the flamingos are out front, the geese are swimming around here, and everybody's having a good time, people are playing golf. But there is an underlying problem that most people don't see. Most people here are in denial. Most people here are riding this weekend out on a credit card, okay, getting even deeper into debt. Most people here do not have real assets put away. Most of these people are probably in the stock market, if they're even in the stock market. But I bet most of these people have a lot of debt and not a very big net worth. Big house payment, big car payments, big credit card payments. Not a care in the world until things all fall apart. Then they got problems.
And at that point, you're going to want to be able to respond. You're going to want to have the stamina. You're going to want to have the resilience to take on those extra stresses that it takes to get through that time.
Right. So as we come into these really dark times, they're not going to look like this. They're not going to. It's not going to be a beautiful time at the Marriott. There's going to be massive anxiety. There's going to be massive stress, massive pain. When people find out their pensions have been wiped out, they find out that the stock market has crashed, they find out that their house is worth 40% of what they paid for it, their future is wiped out. They're going to lose their minds. And if you're not taking care of this in your mind and preparing right now, these people, again, they're the most unprepared, and they will be taken by surprise. You know why? Because they listen to the television. That's who they take their advice from. They don't think for themselves. They don't think outside of the box, outside of their own mind. They don't look at what could really happen because they don't want to think about the boogeyman that's out there. But I'm here to tell every one of you, the boogeyman is out there, and he's coming, and these people are going to be victims. They are going to get annihilated when this economy breaks. And they might live in a nice house right now, but they owe $600,000 on their house. They have to make that $1,000 BMW payment every month. When you look at their net worth, they have so much debt. They're in the negative. You don't want to be one of those people. These people will not capitalize in the bad times. You will, because you have assets, you have a cash reserve, you have preparation, you have a game plan. And if you have a game plan, you know what's coming, and you know that you're going to capitalize and you're going to prosper. You're not going to be scared. You're not going to be paranoid. You are going to capitalize on the sales that are coming to America. This country is going up for sale, ladies and gentlemen. I hate to say that, and I hate to capitalize on the worst of times, but this is reality.
And that's why it's important to get this message out, to tell your friends, to share, to like, to comment, to interact. Let us know your ideas.
Yeah, I mean, comment down below. You guys, I mean, I see so many comments. And look, I'm not proclaiming to be the smartest person in the world or the most prepared, but I'm going to tell you, the people down below in those comments, some of the most intelligent people I've ever seen. My family members, my friends read those comments. My mom reads those comments, and I read those comments. And let me tell you, it makes me think, and it makes me think that I'm not even prepared enough for what's coming.
Exactly.
So you don't have to listen to me. You don't have to listen to the doctor. Read the comments down below. These people are going to tell you what's happening around the world. They're going to tell you what's happening in mid-America, East Coast, West Coast, and everything in between. Read the comments and see what's happening. Sure, there's cities that are doing very, very well. There's people doing very, very well. There's always exceptions to the rule. But overall, as a country, we got big trouble, because I can read what people are saying all over America, and what I'm reading is not good. So take a couple minutes, check out the comments, leave a comment. Tell us what's happening in your area. Are things getting better? What's happening in commercial real estate? Are there more vacant buildings? How about homeless? You seeing more homeless? I'm going to leave it there. Doctor, do you have anything to close with?
Get out there and do something for yourself today. Go take a walk, eat a little better, get good sleep, take your vitamins. What about those things that you've had around the house that you know you should do? Take this time right now, go do it right now.
Get all your preparations, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, prepare your body, because you're going to need it when we implode, when this economy implodes. And let me tell you, if you've been sitting on the couch eating corn chips for the last couple years, playing video games, smoking weed, drinking a 6-pack a day, and you're 350 pounds, you need to change your life right now. You will be a victim of what's coming. Socially, politically, and spiritually and financially, everything is about to shift here in America. Make sure you are on the right side. God bless every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with everybody. We'll talk to you all very, very soon.